Hello and welcome to erpwebtutor.com. This is Arideep, and in this video we are going to show you how we can configure a user for setting up the AME. So prior to R12 and also the 11i older versions, so we used to have the responsibilities for approvals management business analyst or approvals management administrator, and you could straight away assign those responsibilities to the user, and the user could log in and use those responsibilities to configure the AMEs. Now with the R12, we have something called the role-based access for the AME responsibilities, and we will just show you that what we need to do for allowing the user to perform the AME functionalities. So the first thing we need to do is we need to log in as sysadmin. Yes, I want to stress that the system administrator is not going to work. You have to log in as sysadmin. So let's log in as sysadmin. Now, once we are logged in as sysadmin, we need to go to this responsibility called the user management. So we go into user management, and then we go to this function called users. Now, once we are on the users, let's search for a user account for which we are going to set the AME. We have created a sample user for this demo purpose. The username is called AME sample. And once you search for the user, you want to click on update. And once you have this details of the user, what you need to do is you need to click on assign roles, and you need to assign the roles or the AME roles for this user. So let's click on assign roles. Let's search for. So here we will search for the value approval, and once we search for it, we will see that these are the approval related roles that are available. And let's assign these 5 roles to this user. So this 5 roles we are going to assign. We'll select, and once we select this, every time you assign a role for an employee, you have to enter some justification here. This is a required field. So we will say, let's say for demo purpose, just it's a free text, you can enter whatever you want. So this is something you will enter. And once we do that, we'll just click apply. You see this warning. You can, for the time being, ignore this warning that the workflow agent listener and the workflow background engine. So that's fine. We will ignore this error message or the warning message right now. There's one more thing that you need to do before you can actually make this responsibilities work. So for that, we need to go into the functional administrator responsibility. So let's go to our functional administrator responsibility. And in the functional administrator responsibility, what we need to do is we need to create a grant for this user. So let's go to our functional administrator responsibility. So we are logged in as sysadmin. It seems like we don't have functional administrator responsibility. So let's log in as a different user. Let's log in as my user. And we need to go into the functional administrator responsibility. Underneath that, we need to go into grants, which is where we are, and we need to click on create grant. And this is a AME sample user grant, and let's say this is for demo purpose only. This is the effective date, and then the security context, the grantee type is saying all users. We don't want to use this grant for all users. We want to assign this for a specific user, which is our AME sample. What was it? AME sample. Yep. So once we do that, in the data security portion, we need to add the object as the AME transaction types. So basically what we are saying is that we are assigning this grant for this user for the AME transaction types. So these are the different AME transaction types. This is for the human resource application. So this is the data security, and this is the value that we are passing here. So we select this. So that is going to be all we are entering in this page. Let's go next. And we will not make any changes here. And then the last piece, this is the permission set for the menu navigation. And then here we are going to enter the value called the AME calling applications. And we'll click next, and we'll finish it. So we have created the grant for this user. Now the next thing that we need to do in order to use AME is we need to make sure that there's a profile option called the AME installed profile option. We have to make sure that the profile option is set to yes. So let's go and take a look. For the profile option, of course, you need to go to sysadmin, responsibility, profile, system profile. Now here we are on the system profile screen. We will look for the profile. It's called something like AME. You can say AME% installed. And this is going to be at the site level or the application level. And this demo, we would continue this the next tutorials for setting up our self-service human resources. So for the time being, we can look at the application for human resources, or if you want the AME to be enabled or installed for all the applications, of course, you can set the value at the site level. But for the time being, we will set it. You can, of course, set it at any application level or any responsibility level. The most likely places that you would gonna set this is either at the application level or at the site level. So let's do this at the application level. So let's see, at the application level is human resources, and let's check, and we will see that yes, this is set to yes at the application human resource level. So make sure that when you're using AMEs, if you're using it for iExpense, you just need to enable this for your iExpense application. This is the financial applications. So once we verify that the profile is correctly set, and now let's log in as our AME sample user, and we will see that the responsibilities are working fine. So let's log out from here, and we will log in as AME sample. Right now we don't see it, so it's a cache problem. So let's just quickly clear the cache. We can clear the cache in the functional administrator responsibility. We will go to the core services, caching framework, global configuration, clear call cache. We'll set yes. And now try to log back in as AME sample. And there we are. Now we can see the responsibilities. But seeing is not enough. Let's click on that and see if it opens. Yeah. So if you don't have those roles and grants created, you'll not be able to navigate to the screen. This is the dashboard on the business analyst AME dashboard. So here now you can of course come here and start creating conditions, creating attributes, whatever is necessary for your configuration. Now, there's just one more thing that you need to know here is that if you're trying to create any kind of configuration for AME, the first thing that you need to do is you need to set the transaction type. So this is like, for example, if we are trying to do something for the self-service human resource, we are going to set the transaction type as Oracle self-service human resources. So once we do that, AME knows that this is what we are working on, the transaction type human resource. So that way you can proceed. But if I do not do that, AME will constantly throw me an error message that you have to set the transaction type. Let's check that. If you just navigate out of the screen and just you go to some other function or something and then try to go back, you will see that the transaction type is gone. And now if you try to click on any of these links, let's try to click on the rules, and you will see that this message shows up that ensure that you select a transaction type before accessing the approval setup. So make sure that you have this transaction type set up here before you proceed to make any setup changes or you try to create a new component in AME. So that's pretty much it, and I hope that this will help you understand that how you need to set up for enabling approval management in Oracle. And we will talk about the actual setups of creating different rules or different scenarios in the next videos. Until then, I hope you enjoy learning Oracle apps. Thank you, and I really appreciate your time.